Hey up! Today we are talking about the Goodyear Peak Tubeless Complete Gravel Tyre. Now, Goodyear do two versions of this tyre. The Tubeless Complete is the top end one, 120 TPI. There's also a Tubeless Ready, which is the same compound. I'll get onto that in a minute, but 60 TPI. And first thing that would attract you to these tyres is the price. Even this Tubeless Complete, which is like the premium tyre, is around 45 to 40 quid. The Tubeless Ready tyre you can get for about half that price I've seen on Halfords. So it's a good affordable tyre, and Goodyear are obviously pushing harder into the bike market now. This, as you can see from the tread, it's quite a sort of micro toothy tread on there. It's very much derived from their Peak mountain bike tyre, just with sort of, well, miniaturized knob setup on it, really, in the same way as, you know, they do the connector as well, which is their sort of all-road centerage tyre. And they're a big fan of the micro knob, it would seem, at Goodyear. So you've got these really, really small intermediate knobs there. You've got a staggered centre line for fast rolling, and then you've got quite a sort of projecting toothy side knob on there. So what that does is it actually gives it a decent mechanical bite. Certainly over into the lean on sort of wet and grassy conditions, you'll get a sort of reasonable sort of AstroTurf boot effect from that. But this dynamic silica 4 compound is quite hard. I mean, it's not the hardest around. There's a bit of that's a scientific test for you right there. There's a bit of squeak on it, but then certainly quite fast rolling. I mean, they're faster rolling than they look. That's probably the best way they put it. Certainly with that centerage, but they're not super high traction on sort of roots and rocks, slippy stuff like that. There are grippier, softer compound gravel tyres, but they won't roll as fast as this. So, although it looks like a proper winter mud tyre, certainly in the UK you could run this all year round, very much on the front, I would say, for this, and then maybe put that connector on the back for even better rolling speed. In terms of living with it, I've had zero problems with punctures. I've had these on for a couple of months now. Been fine from that point of view. No weird deflation. It went on really easy. The carcasses is a 40. They come in 35, 40 and 45 sizes. This is a 40. It blows up 38 across the carcass on this broad reserve gravel rim, but 42 across these knobs here. So it's good. I mean, it is kind of averages out at 40 mil then, doesn't it? But what I would say is, if you are running them on mixed terrain, so great off-road, because again, quite fast rolling, decent grip, but just watch out for these pronounced side lugs on the road. Put them into a wet road situation, and you do tend to drift and slide about, which is exciting if you're expecting it, but can catch you out the first few times it happens. But yeah, a really good all-round tyre at a reasonable price, to be honest, and no issues with toughness. It's a little firm, I'd say. It's certainly not one of the most supple tyres. It doesn't compare with like a top-line Schwalbe or anything like that, but then it's a lot less expensive than those. So, and you can run it fairly low pressures as well, because the carcass is stable, because the bead seems to hold well. You can run this sort of 30 to 25, which makes it a little bit more comfy. Although there's a definite sort of, you need to find your sweet spot within the kind of pressure and comfort area, because again, if you let them go too soft, then they do feel a bit trudgy compared to when they're hard. But yeah, decent all around. You can see this, you know, even though I've ridden them a lot and the knobs are small, still very clean, intact tread on there, so it looks like wear life is good as well. So if you're kind of looking for an all conditions all-rounder for summer that's going to see a bit of road use, a bit of hard pack use, and quite a lot of off-piste use, yeah, definitely consider the Goodyear Peak, especially in this Tubeless Complete compound. Thanks for watching this tyre review. I've got a whole lot more coming out. I've got Challenge Getaway that I've been running at the same time. I've got I'm just about to put the new Challenge Gravels on. I don't think I've done a video on these either. Really big ones. Schwalbe G1 Overland. If you need a sort of heavy duty expedition bike packing, almost commuting tyre type of affair. What else I've got? I've got the new Panarace X1 and Gravel King range coming up for review, and the Maxxis Reaver. So if you're into your 700C off-road tyres, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot coming your way very shortly. But for now, massive thanks to my Patreon subscribers who support the channel on a monthly basis. Big thanks to my regular channel sponsors who'll be listed at the end. I should say, if you join on Patreon, which would be lovely, not only are you supporting the channel with a regular monthly contribution, but you get early, extended and behind the scenes edits as a thank you. But yeah, if you can't afford to do that at the moment, fully understand, but click for notifications, click for subscriptions, and give this a thumbs up like, because that makes a big difference to how often YouTube share the videos. But for now, I've been Guy Kesterman on Guy Kes TV, doing a quick talk through on the affordable all-rounder that is the Goodyear Peak 700 by 40C gravel tyre.